It's affordable and accessible. Come down to community boating and learn to sail.
Hello, good evening. My name is Reverend Clark. Our ministry is at 190 Harvard Street in Cambridge. And here I am just to talk about our show, my show that I do at 7:30 on Thursday evening. I want to let you know I'm so excited about this show. The topic of my show is the Word. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. And you know, each time I walk along the street, there's always someone so excited about this great program. And I want you to know you can call in anytime and ask any question about my show, our show. Maybe there's something that you may not please about, I don't know, but I want to hear from you because I am excited. I've always been excited to be here. And again, I want to thank CCTV for the door that has been opened in this community, that we can voice our voice in the things that we have in our spirit want to do for you. Call in, let me hear from you.
Hello and welcome to this evening episode of Café con Cas. I am thrilled to be back. I was away last week in Denver and I actually feel kind of nervous today because I talked a lot, catching up with my best friend in Colorado. I talked a lot about what I was up to and the show is one of them. So I am like absolutely thrilled to be back in the studio. I have a lot of things to share with you guys. I hope you're staying warm. If I look bundled up, it's because we're having this crazy Arctic chill weather / snow. It just is wild today. So basically, yeah, welcome. And let me just take a little moment to do what we always do. And that's going to be our emotional check-in. So, all right, guys. All right, so I'm really digging this like little shot in the back here where I'm like half in the shot, half not in the shot. Okay, so let's do this. Here's my Sharpie. I love Sharpies. I've talked about this before. Let's talk emotions. So how am I feeling today? I am feeling, I was feeling a little bit hysterical about the weather. It's really cold. So that makes me really suspicious. What's going on? I actually made a joke with one of my coworkers today. And I said, Al Gore must be sitting with his Nobel Peace Prize in his room, having a cup of scotch, being like, I told you guys, I told you so. You know, the weather is pretty out of this world. So what else am I feeling? I am feeling hopeful. And where is happy? I am feeling happy. I'm really feeling happy because I'm back in the studio and I got to experience another part of the country, which was Golden, Colorado. And I'm feeling really happy to be coming back to the Cambridge community to just, you know, explore some of the things that I learned there about herbalism and healing and seeing what they have to offer, like as well in my community. So on that note, I just wanted to do something else that I think you guys will love. And this is something I'm going to introduce in later episodes, but this is an emotional wheel. So let's take a look at happiness. All right, so I'm feeling really happy, right? What kind of happy am I feeling? I'm feeling the kind of happy that's peaceful and loving, and there's hopeful again. So this is like the core feelings: happy, sad, disgust, anger, fear, and surprise. I actually just Googled emotional charts online and I found this little wheel. And I liked it because so often it's like, okay, are you happy or are you sad? Like, what's going on here? So this is like, I'm happy, but I'm also optimistic. I'm intimate. I'm sensitive. I feel fulfilled. I'm feeling courageous. I like this little provocative thing going on, a little winky happy face. So yeah, I thought I love the old emotion, not the old emotional chart, but I love the emotional chart that I've been using for a while. However, this wheel breaks down things a little bit differently, and I think it's important. You know, I really am advocating for emotional literacy, which does not necessarily mean emotional intelligence. It means like having emotional vocabulary. Just like when you were little and you read about see Spot run, Spot runs fast, you know, see Cass happy. Happy can also mean ecstatic and sensitive and hopeful and loving. We're just not one thing. And on that topic, I have a funny story to share with you guys. This weekend, I saw one of my distant colleagues out. I went dancing in the square. It was amazing. Had a great time. Went to an African night. It was like amazing music. As a Puerto Rican, I really love Western African music. It has that really happy vibe, and it's all, you know, that reggae beat, and there's a little bit of that soca beat, and there's this awesome mix and fusion, and it's beautiful, and it's about love and about happiness and about just going to the shore. And I saw one of my colleagues, and it was really interesting because obviously this was different from how I dressed from work. I was, you know, wearing this jumper. It was red. I was out. And I ran into her in our building today, and she was like, Cassandra, you look so put together, but I just have this mental image of you on the dance floor. And my reaction, which I'm really proud of, I kind of raised my arms and I said, I am woman, hear me roar. You know, we have many different sides to ourselves. And, you know, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be committed to one thing, one way, one person, one look. However, I take a lot of pride in knowing and respecting those compartments of my life and the people within those compartments. So I just kind of wanted to bring that up for you guys. So I have some exciting community news. I was walking down back to my apartment, and I saw a sign for the following. This is for the Cambridge Winters Farmers Market, which I am really, really, really excited about. I think this is a great, going there too fast. Let's go back to the computer. All right, there you go. All right, so this is the Cambridge Winters Farmers Market. Let's go back to the homepage to just look at what they offer and where it is. So it's in the gymnasium of the Cambridge Community Center, which is on Callender Street, not too far away from the square. On the right here, you can see a little bit of a slideshow, which I really love. It's on Saturdays between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., January 4th to April 26th, which is a fantastic time for a farmer's market. And they even have their own website, and I'm loving this logo. It looks like a molecular snowflake with a beat. It's gorgeous. I think it really reflects well the Cambridge community, which is a lot of holistic seekers, Cambridge residents, students, science students. There are all these fusions going on, and here are just some pictures from their first season. Really scrumptious, lots of apples, lots of seasonal fruit. So I've been trying to eat healthier, and I think actually what eating healthier means to me is actually picking a cuisine, because I've come to a very humble understanding that I was really privileged to have a lot of options for fast food and restaurant food. And because my parents were working, my dad was working like 60 hours a week. My mom worked nights. You know, we would have, you know, food. We would cook food, but as well, we would like eat out like at least once a week. So when I started cooking on my own, I was super overwhelmed by all the choices that I had. And recently I've said to myself, okay, let me pick two cuisines. I love Puerto Rican food. I love American food, which is easy to make. And I also love Indian food because turmeric has anti-inflammatory properties, and I love the spices, and I am in love with naan. And so I've been actually having a lot more success focusing on certain cuisines versus indulging in like absolutely everything and treating myself once in a while. So the farmer's market is really, really awesome with that, because you can say to yourself, okay, the season's coming, it's time to try soups, or the season's coming and there are more potatoes available. So it's a way to honor the seasons and honor the market and just kind of get involved in a different way with the Cambridge community. So I really, really, really enjoyed that. And then I also have something else special for you guys. I have a lot of clips prepared. I'm really excited. So I have another clip, and actually before I introduce this clip, let me just say one thing. This is from our neighbors. I really believe in community television. I have a little like neighborhood media, which is a program you should check out on CCTV. Sticker on my prop cup. It was decaf latte, but I finished it with Wayne before the show, who helps out in the studio. And it was great. So I already had my Café. But on the way here, I was actually walking, and I saw two things. I saw a play called Cassandra Speaks, and since Cassandra's my name, I thought, whoa, there's another Cassandra speaking out there. That's so exciting. And then in addition, I saw this really beautiful ad for Arabian Nights. And Arabian Nights, it was really interesting because the Central Square Theater is putting on a production of Arabian Nights. And as you may know, and as I will allow this video to show you, the story of Arabian Nights is pretty controversial. It's about a king who has 1,000 wives and beheads them so they won't cheat on him the night after they get married. So it's a pretty heavy topic, but it is very vivid and a really well-known story. And they had a ASL, American Sign Language performance. And my first episode, I featured a dancer, Wendy, with Anakai Theater, who does a lot of interpretations and has a lot of inspiration from the ASL community. So I thought this was a really great clip in the name of healing arts and diversity to show that, you know, diversity, cognitive diversity, language diversity, American Sign Language. And I'm going to show you their clip, but the clip is in sign language. So I'm really excited to show this to you guys. So let's check it out. So please check out Central Square Theater. And this show's still going on. It's puppetry, it's gorgeous. And actually, let me go ahead and show you their Facebook wall. There's additional information. So if you go to their Facebook page at Central Square Theater, you'll see a lot of stories. Just meet the cast of Arabian Nights. This is where I got this open caption interpretation. And I just really loved it because she's so expressive with her eyes. She's so expressive through her signing. I just thought it was really beautiful, and I felt really invited. I was like, wow, if this type of interpretation can happen just through this video, imagine what the show would be like. So definitely check out Arabian Nights here in Central Square, right next door from CCTV, in between CCTV on Mass Ave. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful production, and I would strongly encourage you to go and do that. So that covers a little bit of art. I have some more in store for you, and I am going to now go to a little healing aspect. So this is healing in a really non-traditional sense. As I had said, I had a wonderful, beautiful trip to Colorado. It was really beautiful. It was really healing. When I tell people I was in Golden, they automatically say, oh, that's where the Coors Light plant is, which is true. And Coors Light is also a Puerto Rican, not a Puerto Rican, besides Medalla, it's like kind of a popular beer. It's a light beer in Puerto Rico. But anyways, that's besides the point. But I wanted to talk about a healing moment because I went to Puerto Rico twice this year. And each time I went, I had as you can see, I have very, very long hair. And each time I went through the airport, they touched my hair. I would go through the entire body scan and I would put my hands up and I would go through the scan. I would put all my luggage. Going through the Homeland Security line always makes me nervous, not because I feel scared of the airport. It's because I feel very uncomfortable being touched by strangers in an intimate way. And so this time around, I was in the airport and I actually, again, it was like the second time I was coming back from Puerto Rico and I had my hair up in a really like tight bun. And I always do this a lot. I call it a moñito, and a moñito is just like a little ball on top of your head. It was like very stylish. My 13-year-old cousin in Puerto Rico, she looked at me, she's like, "Qué raro, qué cosa, like, what is that on your head?" And I was like, it's style, it's style. So anyways, I'm flying back from Puerto Rico. I have this bun in my hair. I have actually the jumper that I wore this weekend on the way back on the plane. And the TSA agent was like, "Ma'am, you're gonna have to step to the side." And I was like, "Okay." And they're like, "You're gonna have to take your bun down." So they touched my bun and they touched my chest. And I was like, I went through the body scan. What is going on here? So this time when I went to Denver and I'm telling this story, and I also had a moment to debrief from this whole story, and I happened to email two of my really, really good, spirit soul sisters who originate from Haiti and the Dominican Republic. I was telling them, they searched my hair. This felt uncomfortable. What's going on? And they're like, "Cassandra, that happens to me all the time. This woman walked right in front of me, with her hair all out, but I come in with my afro and they're literally touching my afro. This is very bizarre." So I can relate to them in that moment, but still these were women of color. So that was really hard. So what I did this time in Denver, and I'm going to be super cheesy and I'm going to show you what I experienced in Denver, which is red rocks. And yes, this is a picture of me looking at the rocks. So, hold on one second. I want to cue that up. All right. So this is Red Rocks. This is Denver, right? So this is when I got out of the plane. It looks really red on the camera, but this is a part of Golden, Colorado. And so as I was talking about, I went through Homeland Security. I got searched. Then Emily picked me up and I felt at peace. I was like, I went through the whole airport drama. I'm feeling okay. This was the first place we went, which was amazing because I told her, I was like, I want to lie down on the rock. And we hiked down the Red Rock Amphitheater and I literally laid down on this rock just to feel grounded to the earth. And it just felt like really so beautiful and healing. But what's really great about Red Rock is that Red Rock was actually a part of the New Deal, part of the Roosevelt's New Deal. And so this is actually a part of the community. And Red Rocks, they do private shows, they make profits, but Red Rock belongs to the city. So in actuality, when I went to Red Rock with Emily, there was families exercising, there was people doing jumping jacks on stage, there was an aerobic workout. And I thought, wow, this is really a beautiful example of an open, healing, awesome space in nature that the community can also access for their use. And I think that's really powerful. And there was no littering, there was no issues. I'm not really knowledgeable if there's been crime or a major issue there, but this was a really beautiful experience. So I have to give a little shout out to all my friends in Colorado. Thank you so much for inviting me and making me feel wonderful. And to continue this story of my travels, one of the things that I found in Denver that was really beautiful was this book. And it's a book by Louise Hay, who actually wrote You Can Heal Your Life, which is another great, the category is self-help. This is a much older version. And actually, in the name of art, my youngest brother actually wrote in this. He has a little illustration here, which actually, it's beautiful. But anyways, before I digress, towards the end of my trip, kind of fast forward to these beautiful 5 days, Thanksgiving dinner, Friendsgiving, I got this book called You Can Heal Your Body. So this is a really interesting book because it goes into the metaphysical realm of healing, and metaphysical means beyond the physical. And so when I bring up this book, I bring this up with a very important disclaimer that if you have a physical issue or if you have a major emergency, go to the ER. I am a survivor of a bilateral pulmonary embolism. I almost died a couple years ago because I had a blood clot that split into my lungs, and I went to the hospital and I was on blood thinners for a while. And then after that treatment was done, I really began looking at my life in an emotional way. Because once I got better and when I was really sick and I was really close to death, I remember having that like little moment of, ooh, I got to do some emotional healing as well, which is also one of the reasons why I'm so animate about emotional check-ins. And I'm feeling a little bit nervous talking about this experience, but what I wanted to share with you is that this book offers a little bit of a different perspective in what bothers you and, you know, what's going on in your body. So let's just like pick a little example from here. So let's see. So it basically gives you mantras. So like, look, let's talk about, you know, female issues. So, you know, pain, female issues, female pain, female cramping. She gives really positive mantras that help you emotionally to kind of clear some of these blocks. So one of these mantras are, I accept my full power as a woman, accept all my bodily processes as normal and natural. I love and approve myself. This is a great book, and I thought I had discovered something new. And then what I really discovered is that this book is within this book. And this is a book that my mother gave me, and I just threw to the side. And I was like, Mommy, I'll read this later, whatever. Then I ended up going to Denver thinking I discovered new. And what I actually discovered was a part of my family legacy and a part of the message that my mom wanted to give me for so long. So I love you, Mommy. And I'm going to say publicly, you kind of had a point. So that's that little book suggestion. I'm going to do a little bit more of that. The trip to Denver was absolutely incredible. And then as I was preparing to return from Colorado, my best friend, I was telling her this story of being in the airport and having my hair searched and having people touch and stroke my hair, which is a really touchy issue because culturally speaking, and in my culture, your spirit is also in your hair. And I have this long hair that grows and grows for a reason. And it becomes kind of a fixation with people. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. To me being bullied by a restaurant boss who said, oh, it must be a weave, just to humiliate me in front of customers. I've been through a long journey with my hair, which now has become a Homeland Security issue because I always get searched at the airport. So this time around, I said to myself, how can I empower myself? Again, this is like the healing part of the show. How can I empower myself? So I asked Emily, I said to her, these body scans, I've had a full CT scan. I had this major life event. I was recovering from this, this pulmonary embolism. I had to have x-rays after x-rays. And I realized that she told me you can reject the option. So on the way back, I actually told the TSA agent, I don't want to go through the body scan. I went through the side, and a really beautiful, blonde, tall, young woman was like, I'm going to pat you down. Have you done this before? And she gently talked to me about it. And this was the first time she actually asked, may I touch your hair? And that was a breakthrough for me, and something that you can also do if you have the time, have the patience, or have the desire going through the airport. So this show is zipping by so fast. I hope you're enjoying watching it. And in the spirit of talking about diversity and race and some of these issues and having my hair be an issue and having other women of color being like, yeah, they've checked my fro, I wanted to actually end with this clip. And I'm going to end with this clip, and I'm so excited to bring you this clip because I had the guts to Facebook Aamer, and I told him I have this little show on CCTV, and when you're in town, I'd love for you to come by. And he accepted me on Facebook, and I'm just going to go straight to this clip. This clip talks for itself. It's called Reverse Racism. And this is an Aussie, and he also has a tour called Fear of a Brown Planet. Brown is beautiful, and I am excited to cue this clip.
A lot of people don't like my comedy. A lot of white people.
In a second. We're going to Doc Cam. Oh, great. I'm going to try to tag him in this, and it's going to be like this. All right, this is good. This is good. All right, Now, I am going to cue this clip. Let's do it.
People don't like my comedy. A lot of people don't like my comedy. A lot of white people don't like my comedy. A lot of white people say this to me. Hey, Aamer. Hey. You get on stage. You make your jokes about white people. You say white people this, white people that. What if I did something like that, huh? What if I got on stage and I said, yeah, black people are like this, Muslims are like that. You'd probably call me a racist, wouldn't you? And I say, yeah, I would. Yeah, you should never do that. That's bad for your health. They're like, well, you do that, Aamer. You do that. You get on stage. You make your jokes about white people. Don't you think that's a kind of racism? Don't you think that's dun dun dun? Reverse racism. I said, no, I don't think that's reverse racism. Not because I think reverse racism doesn't exist, right? If you ask some black and brown people, they'll tell you flat out, there is no such thing as reverse racism. I don't agree with that. I think there is such a thing as reverse racism, and I could be a reverse racist if I wanted to. All I would need would be a time machine, right? And what I'd do is I'd get in my time machine, I'd go back in time to before Europe colonized the world, right? And I'd convince the leaders of Africa, Asia, the Middle East, Central and South America to invade and colonize Europe, right? Just occupy them, steal their land and resources, set up some kind of like, I don't know, trans-Asian slave trade where we exported white people to work on giant rice plantations in China. Just ruin Europe over the course of a couple of centuries so all their descendants would want to migrate out and live in the places where black and brown people come from. But of course, in that time, I'd make sure I set up systems that privilege black and brown people at every conceivable social, political, and economic opportunity. White people would never have any hope of real self-determination.